Hey mamas! Thanks so much for watching my Pose Miss videos that I've been putting on my shorts. If you haven't caught them, they are the 12 days of Pose Miss, a play on the 12 days of Christmas. Every day I've been doing a different pose, and so far it seems like the ones that people have watched and liked the most is my King Pigeon one. So I thought I would do a little tutorial for you. So I wanted to start off by saying this pose is not necessarily a pregnancy or postpartum friendly pose, but also with the asterisks of us moms can work towards advanced poses. It's just we have to make sure that we don't just try to pop into the pose. So we want to work on the individual parts to be able to get there. So King Pigeon Pose is a hip stretch in the supporting area of the pose. It's a big back bend, and it's also a shoulder rotational pose. So the things we want to work on to be able to get into the pose is hips, back bending, and shoulders. So I'm gonna start off by letting you know that you can practice it with me. Just make sure you have space on the floor. If you want a little extra cushioning, you can put down a yoga mat. And let's get to it. So I will turn to the side. So you're gonna come into like a traditional pigeon pose at first. And when you come into a pigeon pose, it can feel a little bit easier on your back to come down like this. It's also, I find, a lot more relaxing and good for being able to open the hip because you're able to relax into the pose. But the key in King Pigeon is to be upright. So if you are working on it, you can definitely stay down here for a few breaths to let your hips kind of just relax into it and get a little accustomed to the shape of the pose. Then when you're ready, you can work on being a little more upright. As soon as you come upright like this, you're already in a back bend. So make sure you warm up your back a little bit before you pop into this. And when I say warm up, I mean anything that makes your body feel warm. So you could do some cardio before. And then to make sure you don't injure your back, try to do some mild back bends before, like maybe resting back on some yoga blocks or some firm pillows, and maybe do some twists, stuff like that. Get your back ready. So then once you are ready to do that, you can be up here and notice how your body feels. So this might already be like enough for you. But if it's not and you feel like you could go further, you might also, side note, be feeling it in the hip flexor of this back leg. It's also going to be a quad stretch for that leg because there's a lot going on in this pose. So that's why we're breaking it down. So you're going to just work on noticing if when you're upright, if you're kind of doing this is making your shoulders round forward. It's not going to help you get into the pose. So when you're up here, you're going to work on pulling the floor towards you. So that opens the chest, puts the collarbones away, but it also gets your back muscles engaged. And you want your back muscles engaging in a back bend. So you'd work on that, and maybe you'd work on bringing your hands a little closer to your knee or your hip, getting a little bit more upright. It's just making sure that back leg is feeling okay as well. So then once you are able to be up here relatively comfortably, you're going to work on your shoulder rotation. So flip grip is something that we do in a lot of advanced yoga poses. So it's something to work on if you want to work towards advanced yoga poses. So oftentimes when we grab our back leg in something like dancer's pose or bow pose, you often just think of grabbing the foot like this. But as you can see from my shoulder, when you're doing that, the head of the arm bone is coming forward. What we want to do is be able to find opening there. So you might think this is it, but that's not quite it. You're going to have to flip your hand even more because you're going to be grabbing that back foot, and then you're going to think of your elbow coming out to the side and then up. So it's a lot of work to get. So you want to really work on shoulder stretches. Any ones that feel good to you, honestly, that get like good mobility into your shoulders. And then once you feel like you have pretty good mobility, you're going to work on external rotation of the arm. So that's a big rotation there. It's not just a grab your foot. So I'll show you what that looks like on this leg back here. So it's kind of like beginner, intermediate, advanced. So you're going to bend that back leg. So already you're going to be experiencing a bigger stretch in that quad and hip flexor. So the beginner stage would be holding this foot just like this. So that's like what I was showing you before, the head of the arm bone's coming forward, but it's still a really nice stretch in the front of the shoulder and into the pec. So that's a good one to do to stretch out that area. So that's something you can try and maybe stop there. If you can go further, then you can try to grab from the inner edge of your foot, and this time the palm of your hand is facing towards that inner edge. So that is a bigger rotation. So that's your hand coming out like this. So this is a really good way to practice that external rotation I was talking about. This is what would be like the intermediate. It's a rotation, it's still getting that opening in the shoulder and in the pec, and it's more rotated than the beginner version. Then if you take a look at my hand for the flip grip, you would turn your hand even more. So now you're grabbing on to the outer edge of the foot, but your palm is facing in towards your foot. My arm is very rotated here, so you have to make sure that your arm's ready for it because we don't want any injuries. So once you have that, then you're going to bend your elbow in towards you so your foot's coming closer. Then the elbow is coming out towards the side. This hand comes further back to help facilitate a deeper back bend. And then the elbow comes up towards the sky. That opens your chest more and makes you square towards your hips, front of your mat, whatever you want to call it. So when you're working on it, this right here is the pose, but eventually, because there's always room for progress, there's never a perfect pose. If you want to get the other hand involved, you're going to lift it up, you're going to lift your chest up, you're going to reach back. For me, I usually end up grabbing my wrist first, and then I wiggle my hand down towards my other hand. Once here, you're going to try to lift your chest more, and then maybe let your head come back. Maybe your foot comes towards your head. But like I said before, that's very advanced. It's not necessarily pregnancy or postpartum friendly. It's just a tutorial of what was my most viewed pose miss pose, and a little breakdown of how you can work towards getting into it. Because just because we're moms, it doesn't mean we don't want to do fun advanced poses sometimes. Am I right? If you have any questions about that, please feel free to comment. I would love to help you on your journey towards flip grip and King Pigeon Pose, or any of the poses with flip grip. And if that was helpful and you liked that, please feel free to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for my other talking head and tutorial posts, as well as my shorts. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye for now.